Okay, baby. We're drinking and we're drinking and we're drinking and we're drinking what? You know what? 7 ways British and American drinking culture is very different. And we're getting this one from Girl Gone London. Link in the description. Please go over and show her some love. Welcome, welcome, one and all. We're about to dive into this one. Let's find out what she has to say about the difference in drinking culture between the US and the UK. Here we go right about now. Hello, everybody.
What if I told you that the average Brit drinks less than the average American, but is twice as likely to end up in the hospital? Or that the United States, land of the 21-year-old drinking age and strict open container laws, is home to some of the world's wildest binge drinking. This is the story of UK versus USA drinking culture, and it's a lot more complicated than you might expect.
Okay.
Alcohol has been part of human civilization for millennia, but in Britain and America, it took on special significance early. In medieval England, alehouses were the heart of every village. By the 1500s, there were over 24,000 alehouses in England, one for every 200 people. Beer was actually safer than water, and everyone drank it. Men, women, and children. By the 16th...
Beer was actually safe. I know that's right. Beer was actually safer than water, and everybody drink it, from baby up to old people. They say from baby, mommy, daddy, to everybody. The UK. Listen, that's what you're talking about. That's a lot of... Whoa.
Century, the English pub, short for public house, had emerged as a uniquely British institution. Pubs were open to all, regardless of class, and it became the unofficial town hall of the nation.
Nice.
The rituals of the pub, like buying rounds, sharing stories, became rituals of British life.
Okay.
Across the Atlantic, colonial America inherited these traditions. Taverns were the centers of early American towns, and the American Revolution was basically plotted in those taverns. By 1776, there were more than 2,000 taverns in the 13 colonies, one for every 150 colonists. But the seeds of difference were already there. America was a new country, shaped by waves of immigration, religious revival, and a restless search for identity. The tavern was a place of possibility and danger. It was a space for freedom, but also a space for disorder. In the 19th century, the two cultures began to diverge. In Britain, the pub survived as a fixture of daily life, even as the temperance movement gained ground. The British government saw the pub as a necessary social valve. It was a place to let off steam, to build community, and to keep the peace. Licensing laws regulated opening hours and alcohol strength, but the pub endured. In America, the temperance movement became a crusade. By 1830, Americans were drinking an average of 7 gallons of pure alcohol per person per year, 3 times today's rate. Fueled by evangelical Christianity and social reformers, temperance activists saw alcohol as a threat to the nation's soul. By 1919, their movement had become powerful enough to pass Prohibition, the 18th Amendment, which banned the manufacture, sale, and transport of alcohol nationwide. Prohibition...
Okay, now, the one thing with girls, she's going to give you the details behind anything that she's saying, So can you imagine it? The two countries saw drinking as two total different things. In the UK, they found it as something to blow off steam, to relax and, have some time. In the US, it's to cause trouble, it's like a danger and to blow off steam, but it's a danger. You understand? But it's more on the danger side. But listen to the amount of consumption that happened back in the day. That is a lot. And listen to who drank it from. Isn't that something? I'm telling you, in the British culture, they embrace it as a part of who they are. The American culture, they fight against it.
Prohibition changed everything in America. It drove drinking underground, gave rise to speakeasies and organized crime, and turned alcohol into a symbol of rebellion. When Prohibition was repealed in 1933, these ideas remained. America's relationship with alcohol would always be shaped by suspicion, regulation, and a sense of moral ambiguity. Britain, by contrast, never fully embraced temperance. Wartime restrictions did shorten pub hours and watered down beer, but the pub remained a place of community and continuity. The British government saw the dangers of alcohol, but also its social value. The difference between British and American drinking culture is nowhere clearer than in the spaces where people drink. The British pub is like a public living room. There are over 47,000 pubs in the UK today, though this is down from 60,000 in the 1980s. Each year, about 1,000 more close their doors.
Aww.
The pub is intergenerational. Children are welcome until a certain hour, and the regulars span every age. The landlord or landlady can be a community figure, part host, part referee, part therapist. And pubs are deeply local. Some are centuries old with names and signs that recall battles, kings, or local legends. The pub is where you go to be a part of something, to see and to be seen and to belong. In America, the bar...
Just the way that she described it, the pub is a part of the community. It's a sense of belonging when you go there. You understand? It's been through generations. You understand? It's a place to unwind where young and old can come together and just be one. I'm like, essential part of the communities itself. And she said there's 47,000. And it's less than what they had, over 67,000. And I'm like, and I can't wait to come and have the pub experience. I tell you. And it's a public house. It's in their houses. These are people of prominent status are having a pub in there where you go in. See, alcohol to them wasn't it wasn't a part of your how should I put this? People don't see it as a danger. It's just a part of who you are, to release stress and to have a good time. The good and the bad coexist when it comes on to the alcohol in the UK. You understand me? I like that.
Is a different animal. There are over 70,000 bars and nightclubs in the US, but the real growth is in breweries. The bar is often more transactional and more individualistic.
Yeah.
You order at the bar, you tip the bartender, you might sit alone or with a few friends. The focus is often on the drink itself, craft beer, bourbon, or cocktails, rather than the space and community it provides. American bars are also shaped by geography and mobility. The car, the highway, the vastness of the country means that drinking is often private or semi-private rather than public. The red Solo cup is a symbol of this. It's portable, disposable, and anonymous. The tailgate, the backyard barbecue, the college party, these are where Americans drink. And perhaps the starkest difference is the law. In Britain, the legal drinking age is 18, and it's not unusual for teenagers to have had their first pint with their parents at home or at a pub. Alcohol is sold in supermarkets, corner shops, and petrol stations very easily. Pubs close around 11 p.m., though this has relaxed in recent years, and there are few restrictions on where you can drink. Open container law.
See, that to me is something. Drinking age starts at 18. You can start drinking in the convenience of your home from your kid, they say around 5-year-old. It's not that start drinking, but have a taste of alcohol to see what alcohol is all about of a tender age. And the opposite end, and when she talk about what American bars are, how many we have, and the difference, it's not focused around being a part of a community. It's about individualism. It's like it's all about the brewery. It's not necessarily. It's not family orientated either. When you think about it, it's not a place to come, relax, have some food, and be in the moment. You can meet with friends, yes, but then you be by yourself. But then the bars and they tend to be loud, and the atmosphere is two total different thing, And I'm like, yeah, one is homey, one is just out there.
Laws are rare and drinking in public is generally accepted. In America, the legal drinking age is 21, the highest in the developed world. This is a legacy of the 1984 National Minimum Drinking Age Act,
That's
which
crazy.
tied federal highway funds to states raising the age to 21.
The reason we created these initial robots was to solve a pretty basic problem. Weeds have become resistant to herbicides, and so then you have to use more of those chemicals. There's no resistance to a blade. The process is pretty simple. I am a farmer, so I designed it to work for farmers. They let us know when they planted the crop. We actually fly a drone. We use that drone to basically map the field.
The result is a culture of strict ID checks, fake IDs, and a thriving underground drinking scene among teenagers and college students.
Yep.
Open container laws prohibit drinking in public spaces in most cities, and alcohol is often sold only in licensed stores and in some states, not on Sundays. These laws shape attitudes. In Britain, drinking is normalized, integrated into daily life.
Yep.
In America, drinking is often seen as a rite of passage, a forbidden fruit, and something that has to be done in secret. This creates a paradox. American teenagers drink less often than their British counterparts, but when they do, they're more likely to binge.
Yeah.
Binge drinking is a term that means different things in different places. In the UK, it's often associated with things like hen parties or lads' night out. In the US, binge drinking is most closely associated with college life, fraternity parties, and spring break. According to the CDC, 1 in 6 American adults binge drinks about 4 times a month, consuming an average of 7 drinks per binge. Among college students, 33% report binge drinking in the past month. Binge drinking accounts for more than half of the 95,000 alcohol-related deaths in the U.S. each year.
And that to me should tell you to change how you guys, and that to me in itself should have changed how the U.S. deal with drinking when it comes on to young adults, because it makes no sense. Because for them, it's a right apart 21-year-old. You understand me? It's like you're letting them loose. It's like the forbidden fruit. So they're tempted. You have a saying, when you tell somebody no, that is when they want to do it. When you tell somebody no, you cannot do that or you cannot get that, it's like the more they want it. Their brain is wired that way. And can you imagine how reckless when kids or young adults get when they, college and they go to these bench and they start drinking and the dangers that is involved. Why you can't? To me, I can't get over that. The drinking age, but yet still you can vote. Still you can go fight war. At 18, you can do so many other things. I never seem to understand that. When on the opposite end, when you look at it though, the UK, I think they figured out, listen, if we forbid people from doing this or kids from doing it, they're going to want to do it. So let's keep this under control. Let's give access at a younger age, but in your home you can do what you see fit. And I think we won't have so much death related from alcohol at such an early age. Man, the more I think about this, I'm like, that's crazy. The numbers are crazy in the US. But they ain't going to change it.
United Kingdom, among 16 to 24-year-olds, 38% of men and 27% of women binge drink at least once a week. Hospital admissions for alcohol-specific conditions in England reached 358,000 in 2022, a 19% increase over the previous decade. In Britain, binge drinking is often a public social activity. Nights out in city centers, especially on weekends, are marked by groups moving from pub to pub, drinking quickly and often ending the night with a takeaway meal. The lad culture of the 1990s and 2000s, immortalized in TV shows like Men Behaving Badly, celebrated heavy drinking as a form of bonding and rebellion. In America, binge drinking, again, is more likely to be private or semi-private. College parties, tailgates, house parties. It's the fraternity party, the spring break trip, the 21st birthday. These are American rites of passage, often marked by excess drinking. And what's the cost? In the United States, binge drinking costs the U.S. economy $249 billion per year in lost productivity, healthcare, and criminal justice costs.
What?
Nearly 1 in 4 adults admit to driving after drinking too much at least once in the past year. In the United Kingdom, alcohol is responsible for 7,500 deaths per year in England alone. The NHS spends £3.5 billion annually treating alcohol-related harm. British police report that 40% of violent crimes are alcohol-related, but the response is different. In Britain,
Guys, I ain't gonna lie to you. When she gave the stats, these numbers are wild. I did not realize. Well, I can't even say that because the United States is huge, but that's a lot. Jeez, we. And then when she tells how much is in Britain. In the UK alone, I'm like, yes, that's a lot. Guys, I swear to you, the numbers shocked me. I'm like, yeah. Jeez.
Public health campaigns focus on moderation, on changing social norms, on promoting alternatives like dry January. In America, the response is more likely to be legal, stricter enforcement, zero tolerance policies, and a focus on individual responsibility. Now let's talk about the rituals surrounding drinking, because British drinking culture is built on the ritual of the round. One person buys drinks for the group, and the responsibility rotates. This creates a sense of obligation, of belonging, and of mutual care. It also means that drinking is social, more paced, and communal.
Yeah.
The pub quiz, the darts match, the sing-along, these are rituals that bind people together when they drink. In America, the ritual is happy hour. Discounted drinks after work, a chance to unwind, to network, to escape the grind. The focus is on the individual. What you order, how much you tip, how you manage your own consumption, it's all up to you. American bars are more likely to have TVs, loud music, and a faster pace. And moderation also means different things. In Britain, moderate drinking might mean several pints over an evening, spread out with conversation and food. In America, moderation is often measured in units, in abstinence days, in self-control.
It's crazy the way she said it. She said, listen, in Britain, we buy a round. The next person, the sense of obligation. That's how I'm used to it in Jamaica as well. It's a group of friends and each one buy a round. It's not individualized. It's not, okay, one man to himself. Okay, it's just, we all come together, but we get our own bill, how much we go and tip. That's the American culture. Jamaican culture, I've never seen it. When I went out back in the days, a group of friends, I do the first round, the next person pick up the next round, and that's how it was. You understand me? It felt good to me. And then every time I hear other people say, listen, that's the British culture. That's the way we do it as well. I'm like, that is so cool. But I figured we picked that up from, because you all know the history between Jamaica. You all know that already. But I'm like, it is so different here in the US for real. And if I didn't watch this video, I wouldn't even look at it that way. But it makes a whole lot of sense. Wow.
Legacy of temperance lingers in the language. Responsible drinking, alcohol-free. Now, drinking in Britain has historically been male-dominated, but this has changed. Women now make up nearly half of pub goers, and the rise of the gastropub has made pubs more family-friendly than ever.
Okay.
Still, there are old man pubs, student pubs, posh pubs, each with their own codes and clientele. In America, bars have always been more mixed, but also more segregated by age, race, and class.
True.
The cocktail lounge was a space for women in the 1920s, the dive bar, a refuge for working men, the college bar, a rite of passage for students. The craft beer revolution has brought new diversity, but also new forms of exclusivity. Now, both cultures are also shaped by drinking stereotypes. The Brits are seen as heavy drinkers, stoic in the face of hangovers, masters of what they call a session.
You hear that?
The American is the frat boy with a keg, the cowboy with his whiskey, or the suburban dad with a six-pack.
Yeah.
But the reality is more complex. British drinking is actually declining. Per capita alcohol consumption has fallen by 16% since the early 2000s. Young people are actually drinking less, and dry January is now a national phenomenon.
Okay.
In America, drinking is rising among older adults, women, and minorities, even as teen drinking falls. Now let's talk about the rituals of drinking and celebration, because alcohol...
I did not see that coming, because you always hear, when you hear British, that's all they do. They drink. They drink and they have a cup of tea. That's it. They always hear, oh, they drink a lot. They're always drunkards. Even growing up, I used to hear that, guys, straight up. So it's surprising that your numbers are dwindling and the US is rising. But, well, you know what? Nowadays, nothing should surprise me because of how things are and the way people are stressed, and they take alcohol on as a stress reliever, and both male and female. You understand? It doesn't matter. Yeah. People can't handle stress nowadays and they go to alcohol. So I can see why the numbers are rising.
Is woven into the celebrations of both cultures. In Britain, the pub is the place for every milestone. Birthdays, weddings, funerals, retirements.
Nice.
In America, it's about the toast, the shot, the champagne at New Year's, or the beer at the ball game.
Nice.
The British wake, for instance, is a communal affair with stories, laughter, and pints raised to the departed.
Yep.
The American funeral is often dry, with alcohol reserved for the reception or the private home.
Yeah.
The British wedding is a marathon of drinking. The American wedding is more likely to have an open bar or a signature cocktail, but also a last call.
Yeah.
And as I've mentioned, the legacy of Prohibition still shapes American drinking culture. Many states have blue laws that restrict alcohol sales on Sundays. Some counties are still dry, banning alcohol altogether.
Yeah.
Open container laws are strictly enforced in most cities, and drunk driving laws are harsh. American social life. In Britain, regulation is lighter. Pubs are licensed, but alcohol is widely available. Drunk driving is punished, but the culture of walking to the pub or taking public transport makes it less central.
I like that.
The British approach is more about managing risk rather than enforcing abstinence. And that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you learned something new. As always, leave your comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye, Mama. I love every minute of this video. I definitely learned a lot just watching this video. I didn't realize the numbers were so staggering when it comes to death, alcohol-related death in the US and in the UK. But the difference between the two sticks out like a sore thumb. And to be honest with you, I lean more towards the British side of things than the US side of things, because it feels more family. It's to unwind. It's not looked down upon. You see what I mean? Very interesting video. That's all I'm gonna say on this one. Learned a lot though. It's the Island Girl and I'm running out of here, guys. Be good, be kind. What are your thoughts on this one in the comment section? Let me know. Love you guys to the max. Don't forget to go over and show Girl Gone London some love. Don't forget to hit the like on this one. Hit the subscribe. And if you're new here, become a member by hitting the join button, and you see all the exclusive perks that are offered. Love you guys to the max, and I'll definitely catch you guys in another one. Bye.